Summer is fast approaching, and I think it's time we took a little bit of stress out of our lives, isn't it? With HelloFresh UK, you can get all the ingredients and inspiration you need to make your meal times and your cooking experience simpler than ever. HelloFresh provides a number of recipes and meals to make your life as easy as possible and also caters to a wide range of different dietary requirements. Use my special discount to get 50% off your first order plus 35% off the next three and 3 free gifts as well. What more could you ask for? Check out the discount link or the checkout code down in the description below. What a frustration is building here at Distillery, as it looks like we're about to miss out on our key addition to the squad again. We've got 2 big games today as we focus solely on the Irish Premiership. And if we're going to have any chance of winning the title this year, we're going to need to start winning convincingly. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 108 of Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. It's been a very frustrating time for club and country recently, as both of them have been a whisker away from being brilliant, but we just cannot find our form in front of goal at the minute. Since the last update of the game, I have mentioned my troubles in front of goal, but for now, we are still in the mix, and today we face Linfield and Glentoran. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. If you are, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. For now though, we have got to reflect on some transfer disappointment and problems for both club and country in front of goal. Which of the many bad bits of news do we start with? I think probably the man that we've been trying to sign since the summer. If we go and have a look at our transfers, we know who that key target has been. He's been here on trial before, but he has rejected us once already, and now he is on trial at Southend United. Damien Dunn, the 22-year-old, the number 10 who we were trying to get as right winger. And again, we're being hampered by our financial restraints because we can't offer more than £3 a week in wages. It's all good saying we want to go all out for these players, which I do for him. I think he's brilliant. And to see him go to the National League with Southend would be a travesty. But the fact that we can't offer more than £3 a week for an individual player is a big problem. So it looks like we might miss out on him, but we're going to keep an eye on the situation. We have offered him a contract and failed once. Southend have now got him on trial. We'll just wait and see what happens, but I'm not optimistic. Let's move our attention to what's been happening on the pitch though, because it's been a bit of a shaky month, to be honest. We've had 1 or 2 really good wins and 1 or 2 really awful defeats. So you were with me for Edence and Dunfermline, probably one of our best performances away at Dunfermline. We backed that up with a really good draw at home to Rail Betis. Duncan McKenzie with the goal. We were pegged back second half. We had to hold on a bit, but we got the result, which was great. We then produced one of our best performances for a long time. A really good 1-0 win away at Larne. That was in the League Cup 3rd round. Maurice Simpson getting the winner. Loads of yellow cards, a couple of injuries, but a really good display. We were then completely dismantled by the same opposition with a very similar 11 out 3 days later, which I can't quite explain, but Andrew Marshall scored 4 for Larne. He did play the game before and didn't have a sniff. It then led to a hangover in the league as well. A 2-2 draw against Crusaders despite a Maurice Simpson brace. In the end, it wasn't a disaster because Linfield drew on the same night, but really frustrating not to make it count. And we've said this before, in the seasons we've been more successful, you cannot drop points against sides outside that top 3 or 4. Against Sampdoria, a gallant effort, but a defeat nonetheless. The only good sign is that Maurice Simpson is coming back to form there. And in my word, against Dungannon on Wednesday, we rested a few. We tried to rest some of that first team before Saturday, and it almost backfired dramatically. We had to wait till the 91st minute to get our goal. And now we turn our attention to 2 very big league games against sides that often cause us trouble. We have thankfully got the Whipping Boys back to back after, but we got Linfield in a quarter-final as well. So if we win the League Cup this year, to be fair, we get through Linfield, we'd expect to win it, because we've already knocked them and Larne out then. We've also had problems though at international level, and it was almost a moment of glory because I've probably had a better time here than I have in a head coach with a bigger nation, but we won 1-0 against the Republic of Ireland with the ultimate smash and grab. It was a jump out of your seat moment as we got outplayed, we got outclassed. Look at the stats, I mean, it's a proper FM in. And then in the 93rd minute, we turn up with a header at the back post, unmarked from a free kick, and we nick a 1-0 against the rivals. That was sensational. It also put us 1 win away from qualifying for the World Cup, which would have been one hell of an achievement. To do that, we had to beat Poland, and to stay in charge of our destiny, we had to draw against them. But they got their own back. An 88th minute winner against us in a game that we dominated this time. And Jamie Donnelly, I mean, I can't criticise him. He's done so much to put us in this position. He had an absolute stinker this international break, and it's cost us. So now we have to go away to Bosnia and win, and then just hope it's enough, because Poland, well, they've got the whipping boys at home. So I think now it will be a playoff as a result. But that was the opportunity that passed us by. If we'd won that game, or even drawn it against Poland, we would have been in control of our destiny. So a very difficult month for club and country. Let's go and get into what will be two difficult games, and none more so than this one we start with. Linfield 3 points ahead of us with one more game played. But look at the goal difference. Plus 25 to our plus 4. They are free flowing. We are struggling to get going. It is a big test for us to see if we can compete at this level. You've got Larne doing really well. We can only go ahead of them by 2 points if we win our games in hand. Coleraine have won every game so far, including beating Larne. But they haven't played us or Linfield yet. So I'm still confident enough with that one. Let's go and get through the tactical meeting. We rested everyone on Wednesday. So I'll pick our first 11 for today's game. We'll be back in a minute to run through the team. Right then, here we go with a very unsurprising first 11. It is Neil Kane in goal, Reid at fullback alongside Paul Ray, with Goss and McKenzie in the middle, Lennon and Daly the midfield two, Morgan Griffiths back in. That's because Robinson's tired, and Whitehall with a heavy match load. Puarte and Parry on the wings, with Morris Simpson up front. He is finally finding form, and we need him to be at his best. Robinson not fit enough for the bench. Ethan James struggling. He made his return on Wednesday. Stowell again, not really able to play twice a week just yet. The bench is strong though, having Lafferty, Varma, Bell, all players that have been first teamers in recent years, even Whitehall and McClelland as well. It is the best bench we've ever had, but going forward, there's still a little bit of a disjointed feel. Let's see if that changes today, but to be honest, it's going to be about defences, isn't it? Can we avoid getting blown away by Linfield and do what we did to them in the home fixture? Well, it's 3 changes for Linfield, who are fairly strong, but Mackie, one of their star strikers who's in my Northern Ireland squad, is out. Keith Martin, who's also in my Northern Ireland squad, is in though, so they're pretty strong, and it's very Northern Irish based, which means they can have a bigger squad. I'm going to tell the lads to get out and impress me. We're going to drop to balance because we don't want to get done early on. We should be fairly comfortable at Windsor Park. We've played plenty of European games here. Us and Linfield have become pretty much regulars in this stadium on those Thursday nights. For us, we're often having to move because of them. But nearly 6,000 in for a league game is a great effort in the Irish League. Now let's see how we get on in the first half. We've not been in the best of form overall, and to be fair, being in that higher competition for us and Linfield has meant we're picking up less points. We're dropping our morale a little bit, and maybe it's getting a bit trickier. But 4 points for them, 5 points for us, and we're only 3 points apart in the league, as we've got a throw on the right with Reid. Griffiths gets it back to him. I'm still confident, even looking at the table now, that come the end of the year we'll be the 2 up there. I feel Larne have got a few too many chinks in the armour at the back, as Kellyman gets on the end of that long ball, but Kane is there to smother. And I do feel that if we're looking at Coleraine, they'll drop off as soon as they play us two. As Ferrisage wins it back, it is not the best possession from us. Through ball to Kellyman, far too easy. McKenzie does well, but it's only away as far as Martin. He goes up to McAllister. How many headaches has he given us over the years? Parry just punts downfield, and it says something about us under pressure again, doesn't it? As soon as we play a side like Linfield, we go from playing our short passing game and good football to just punting it and hoping, as we're doing now. They win it back on halfway for the 3rd time in a row. I'm looking at this and feeling I might have to go positive, and I might be forced to anyway. Ferrisage puts it over, but as soon as we get the ball, we're just punting it long. And in the other games, the problem is there's teams behind the ball and we're having to play short. So it's the wild variety of quality and opposition that's the issue. I am going to try and be positive for now, as Ferrisage picks it up on the left. Corner kick for him. Towards the front post, Bird is up. We deal with that well from McKenzie. Hancock brings it down. It should be one back, but we slow for some reason. Where on earth's the marking at the back post? McAllister there, free header. Nobody within 5 yards of him. That is shocking defending. As Kane goes for the big kick over the top, Simpson and Griffiths will chase. Header away, only finds Simpson. He gives it to Morgan Griffiths. Not quite fully fit, but he's working hard. Gets it wide to Ben Parry on the left. Chance to beat his man. Early cross to Simpson. Just over the bar. I think it was cleared by the defender and took a nick off him. In the end, no, it's not going to count for anything. It's an even game. Lana 1 up, Glentoran 1 up as well. And as we edge towards half-time, we keep an eye on the Coleraine score. Can they make it 10 out of 10? For us here, though, it's 0-0, but we are well and truly in this game. And it shows the improvement in our quality that we are competitive against these sides. But we're not good enough in front of goal, and that is happening against every team. As Mackenzie's got the ball at the back to Ray. He finds Daly up to Parry. Has support, but again, trying to go alone here. Wonder if we start pushing the fullbacks on more and overlapping. As Parry gets the ball on the left, cuts into Daly. He finds Lennon, loves a long-range goal against Linfield. Hits the post this time. I don't know what it is with him in the Linfield games. Every time we play them, he has a go from 30 yards out. And to be fair to him, he normally scores in them. This time he just misses out, and it might cost us as it's a corner for the host. Sorry, I thought we were at home for a minute. Getting used to Windsor Park being a home ground in Europe. As Martin goes wide to Ferrisage, ball into McGuckin. Must be offside. The linesman's running away. Oh, I'm going to have to look at that again. I thought that was incredibly close. Who played them on? Who's getting subbed? Because at the moment, a very good performance is being followed by a 1-0 deficit. Do not say it's offside. Ball comes wide to Ferrisage. He's on, I think. Yeah, he's all right. This one's played across when? Trying to work out when the ball's released here. Is he offside? I think Ray might be playing him on, you know. Fair enough. I think the linesman's got it right. That was very frustrating because we've been in this game, but again, not taking chances. Linfield have taken theirs. Here we are just a few minutes later though. Throw on the right hand side as we come forward to Morgan Griffiths, who won't do 90 today. That's a good cross though. Deflects and Webber's there. Oh, we've just not got that 40 goal a season player. McElhatton's done it once. Simpson's done it once. But we never seem to do it in back-to-back seasons, which is really annoying. It's one season on, one season off. As Ferrisage goes back to Martin. He's got the chance to carry it forward. Raise up, header's poor. McAllister brings it back down. Chance to cross, McGuckin's in. Mistake from Neil Kane. It's so frustrating watching other teams be ruthless. And I don't really understand what the difference is. Because last season we couldn't stop scoring. 3 years ago we couldn't stop scoring. And then the same attacks the year after each time have been awful. It's a very frustrating watch. We're going to encourage, because we've played well in this game. We've not been poor by any stretch. But now I've probably got to look at the game in 3 days' time. Morgan Griffiths is knackered. He'll be replaced by Whitehall. We'll push Rory Lennon on a bit here. I'm also looking at Lafferty for Simpson, who's had a stinker. Missed chances yet again. I'm going to bring Varma on for Lennon, in fact, and put Parry out into the middle role. Mackenzie's had a stinker at the back. Luke Smith and McClellan will come on. Gavin Reid will be the other one to get a rest. So 5 changes made. We've gone pretty much as strong as we can in this situation. We just cannot click in front of goal. Everything else is pretty much right. As Coleraine have turned it around, they're winning again. And we're starting to collapse defensively. I know the defence was going to take a while because we're settling in a lot of new players back there. And we've had injuries. There's no doubt in that. But going forward, it is virtually the same attacking line as last season. In fact, it's exactly the same at the minute. And it's scoring half the goals. The chances just aren't going in. And we're playing in exactly the same way, which is frustrating. As we've got the Linfield corner, this could get out of hand and a heavy defeat becomes a big problem for us as Goss heads away. Jones will get there first. He brings it into Martin from the right. And it does peter out, but the second half, we've barely had a kick. Linfield have come on strong. We've then sat back and we've been forced into our own area. In the end, Linfield are going to win this comfortably as Parry on the left-hand side finds Ray and Goss. Chance to get the cross in, but instead turns back to McClelland and Daly. Big ball over to Puarte, but no one's there. And again, we're not playing a short passing now. Smith gets down the right to sub. Great delivery to Lafferty. His header's over the bar. Stays 2-0. Linfield just deserved their win. But those missed chances in the first half have cost us yet again. I'm sure Webber will take his time over this goal kick. He's not in a rush to get Linfield forward. Bangor have scored 2 goals against Glenavon. There's a story for the day. As Whitehall heads the ball forward, Jones to Ferrisage. Puarte nicks it. Can we at least get a goal today? Ah, it's dirty. And that's the side of the game we maybe don't do as well either. We don't take the cynical fouls. We don't play that sort of gamesmanship style, do we? Maybe it's costing us as Puarte puts it in. No one near it. It's an awful delivery. It's out to Smith on the right. He's got the chance to cross, but goes back to McClelland. He plays to Daly. And again, lovely football. But where's the ambition? To Whitehall. Oh, we just can't deal with a team that sits in. We have got to find a way to open teams up, and done players like that might have been it. We can't afford their wages. So for now, we're left with frustration again. A pretty even game, finishes 2-0 to Linfield. We'll be back in a minute to try and recover against Glentoran, and we cannot afford to drop any more points. Here we go then, just 3 days later, and more problems on the injury front, because this time we have lost Ben Parry for the next month at a crucial stage of the season. It is all starting to stack up, and it's turning into one of those really frustrating years. We just got everyone back as well. Griffiths had returned, James had returned, but another one of the Welsh boys injured this time. Let's go through to the fixtures though. Glentoran at home, the opponents. We've surely got a big win in us somewhere. It's just when it's going to come out. Barry Coffey and Colin McCann both start against their former club. Two players that did used to pop up with goals in fairness. Now let's go and see how many are fit. Ben Parry can't play. Everyone else available. We'll juggle what we need to. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well then, a few big decisions in this team today. We've got one at centre-half where Mackenzie played poorly last game, trained poorly last week. In comes Luke Smith as the covering defender. I've also brought back Tom Robinson where he was fatigued last game. He replaces Griffiths, who drops to the bench just as we rebuild his fitness again. And you can see so many of those attacking players struggling for form. Lafferty, Griffiths, Varma, all really average. Brian Varma, of course, is in. He is there because of that injury to Parry. Morris Simpson is still up front and Rory Lennon a little further forward. What it does mean is we have got the opportunity to be aggressive here, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. So for this one, this is the 11 we're going to stick for. Smith is in, Robinson's in, Varma's in, the latter is enforced. Let's see how we get on. At home to Glentoran, please, just someone hit form in front of goal. That's all I'm asking. Here are the teams then. A lot of former players in this Glentoran team. Jim Wood, Barry Coffey, Colin McCann. Bell we've tried to sign before. Cooney we tried to get on loan back when he was at Linfield. And Matthew Carson was a star of our Hemel save last year. The big builder club, you can find that in the eye above. But let's go and get through to the dressing room. I'm sure we had that Jason Armstrong on trial too. I want to see a better performance. More importantly, I want to see a ruthless edge. I want to see it mean something to win. I want to see you angry when you miss a chance. Over 2,000 through at home, which isn't bad for us. Still no improvement in the home crowds, really. I think the Dungannon game, there were less than 400 in. So let's go and get into the first half of this one. Hopefully, we get the response we wanted. Well, here we are with just 5 minutes on the clock. And I'm actually looking at this now. Are we playing worse while we're positive than we were balanced? Because we were hitting teams on the counter and forcing them up the pitch before. It might be something to consider. Maybe we go all-out attack against most of these sides, but for now, we're worried about the defending. Oh, for God's sake, how many times? Andrew Bell in. And now we've got a mountain to climb, because when you concede the first goal, these teams can just sit back against you. It's an awful start. It's a sloppy mistake. And again, we've given away a stupid goal. This is turning into possibly the most frustrating season of the save so far, because the team is almost unrecognisable. I've had seasons where we're poor, and I've seen times where we've not been at our best or we've had poor players, whatever. This is a very good team playing a million miles from the best of its ability. Is that the highest standard of football on a Thursday night, which we've not had before? Is it the fact that we've had a few defensive signings come in, but then what would that do to our attacking line? How can we have Simpson, Lafferty, all of these players, Griffiths as well, scoring 20, 25, 30 goals last year? None of them can hit a barn door now. It just feels like, combined with all the injuries we've had, that everything is going wrong in 1 year. And at the moment, it might be very costly. We need a big response second half. Can we get one before the break, though? As Simpson releases Lennon. Robinson, put the pass through. And Rory Lennon's got us back on terms. That's what we needed. 1-1. I mean, it's a bit of an over-celebration for the stage of the game. But we are back on terms. We're going all out for it. I'm angry. I'm going attacking. And I want a response from these boys. It's still not been a great performance. We've got a chance with a free kick to go in ahead. Oh, Robinson hits the post. It's a good effort. It's cleared away for a throw. Better second half of the first half, but still dropping points at the minute. We're just about the better side. We've not done enough, in my opinion. So we're going to say we're not happy. We need a response. And Morris Simpson, you were showing signs of form again. Now you can't score in the big games. It's a big problem. As Robinson's got another free kick. That one's a good effort. Good save from Charles. It's back out to him with the clearance. But At the moment, we're having the better of the game without really having a major threat. And it just looks like, again, the shot count's going up. The stats look great for us, but we don't really look like scoring most of the time. It's a really frustrating time. We've got Paul Ray coming off for Curtis Bell. Puarte will come off for... I'm going to do both wingers. McElhatton and Lafferty. Get 3 strikers on. We're going to put them on attacking duties as well. I've just got to get people in behind and try and score goals. Luke Smith's not had the best game at the back, so Mackenzie will get another run out. And in the final change, I think I might go Morgan Griffiths on, and he's going to replace Neil Daly, who's not had the best match in the world. So Lennon drops into midfield for him, and then further forward, we will go Morgan Griffiths on. He'll get another 25 minutes of fitness, and we will desperately chase trying to get a winner here. As it's 1-1, a big kick over the top Glentoran. Do not give away a silly goal. Puarte brings it down for Reed. Inside to Neil Daly. Still keep calling him Noah. Back from FM21. As Robinson over the top. Simpson's in. Got to score. He does score. But of course the offside flag goes up. I should have known better. When your out of form striker hits the target, it's always got to be offside. 1-1 it remains with 20 to go. And again, I don't know how we're not winning. Well, here we are with 15 to go, and this is becoming a very good performance with little reward. And again, it's missed chances as Lennon, through ball to Simpson. He's taken a touch, it's an awful one, and then shoots a thunderous strike from 30 yards onto the crossbar. But why are you doing that? When you have worked the ball into the box on or not, they're still just shooting from everywhere. And we're 10 to go. I don't actually know how we get a winner here, because we're throwing everything at them, and there's no reward. It's going to be another frustrating night. 5 minutes to go. We're about as attacking as we can be now, but there is no sign of a goal incoming, and Glentoran, because they got that early goal, they're just sitting back and wasting time. A point is a great result for them, as it is for most sides coming here, as Bell finds Lafferty. Through ball to Griffith. Simpson, was he onside? It doesn't matter. Now he is on because he's at the post. He's missed another opportunity. This is the problem. Simpson had not been missing those chances for this club. And this year, to have him, to have Lafferty, McElhatton, Griffiths, all out of form at once, it's bad luck or it's infuriating. I don't know which it is. You're not going to create better chances than that. And again, despite dominating a game, we've not managed to win it. We give away a stupid goal early on. And then after that, it's pure one-way traffic with no outcome. 1-1, I'm sure Linfield won their game. Oh, they haven't played yet. But we've now played the same number of games and we're 5 points behind them. More worryingly, we are 16 behind Coleraine with just 2 games in hand. Things might get a little tense this year because we now, as it stands, cannot catch Coleraine, Larne, Warren Point or Linfield, even if we win our games in hand. Let's have a look at this schedule then, because I know where I want to come back at the end of January. That's going to be for Napoli and deadline day. But in between now and then, we've probably got to find an episode. We've got that hectic festive schedule, but we've not really got 2 big games in a row. So I'm tempted almost to come back for Applewell and East Fife, which will be 2 massive games in the Cups, and then just go on a big run off camera before getting to Napoli. And I think that seems logical at the minute. January's going to have to be busy. We've got to go and find a striker or an attacking mid from somewhere. And some of the players we missed out on. Imagine we got that Rui Hartman loan over the line. I don't think we'd be having this conversation now. Big problems on the way at Distillery, and the Irish Premiership is looking a problem. And don't forget, we don't finish in the top 2, we'll be at risk of the sack as well. Let me know how you think I solved these problems. Is it just one of those unlucky years I've got to sort of bundle my way through? Do we limp to the finish line and try and nick second, or do I have to overhaul mid-season? I can't really work out what's going wrong this year, other than all the strikers being out of form. If you want to stay up to date and you did enjoy this one, please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe to stay up to date with the rest of the season. It's going to be pretty tense the way things are going at the minute. And of course, in addition to being here, we're back in club football in the head coach. You can join me tomorrow at the same time to find out where we've gone and meet our squad for the first time. And we'll be back here in a couple of days for, I'm sure, a bit more pain and frustration. In the meantime, there's massive action from the podcast channel in the eye above. We're also live regularly on Twitch. The link is up there too. And I'll see you back here next time. A very frustrating season in the offing. Let's hope we can find a solution.